I'm struggling to finish tracks, so many plugins, sounds, etc. I end up auditioning everything. Any tips to stop overthinking? Even with deadlines, I go to the last second trying things. Yeah, easy fix for that, man. So what you should do is never start a track with a blank DAW session in front of you. Okay, this is what I used to do. Is a big mistake. A lot of you guys are doing this. It's a big mistake. Okay, so you're going to make a track, whatever it's going to be. What you need to do before you compose the first note, the first drum hit, the first kick, the first anything, is you need to find your sounds that you're going to use. Okay, so how do you know what you're going to use in a track? Well, reference tracks, right? So let's say you're going to be making a hip hop song. So you need to find a reference track either from a library, from a chart, from somewhere where you're like, this is what I want it to sound like. Listen to it, make a list. There's actually a tutorial in Sync Academy exactly on this, how to make a list. And then you need to pick out all the instruments, all the key instruments that are really making that track what it is, and also write down what quality. So don't just put kick drum, but man, that's a really low subby kick that has a long tail. So, that's what's going on with that kick. So you need to have some descriptors that go along with each individual instrument. Piano, it's a really reverb rich piano. Feels like we're in a cavern, and it's really dark. There's no high-end EQ presence to it. So that's describing what you should be going for when you stack up your DAW session, right? So one at a time, you go, okay, kick, what do we need? Low thud, long tail. That's when you do your auditioning, right? You're not even in creative mode yet. You're not thinking about what you're going to do in the chorus. You don't even have a melody. You don't even have a chord progression. You have nothing at all. You don't even have the tempo. Like nothing is even decided yet. You're literally just going through the records, the crate, essentially like the old school days, finding the sounds that you need. So you find that kick. Oh, that's the sound. Cool. Kick, label it. Next, snare. What kind of snare do we need? Stack that all the way through. You're going to have 10, 20, and you can add more later. Okay. It doesn't mean that this will be your final list of everything you're going to do, but it's enough so that you have the sounds you think are going to work for this, so that when you're starting to compose, you don't have to go searching for them. So you can at least get a skeleton and a rough idea of how the track's going to be, get it done. Then if you're like, you know what, I think a couple of strings here and there would be nice, and that wasn't in the reference track, but you want to add them, you can go find those and do that. So that's what I would say in terms of if you're getting lost in sample preferences and previewing sounds and going through 1,000 different kicks, like I can't find what really works. Do all that before the inspiration starts, because here's the whole thing. Once you're in that sort of wave, it's basically you're catching a wave. It's what it feels like, right? A wave hits and you're like, ooh, I'm going for this track. This is awesome. And ideas start flowing and you're like, okay, I know where this is going and I'm getting inspired and feeling good. You don't want to interrupt that process. You don't want to be stopping and like, okay, let me get off this surfboard, walk over here, and now I have to go look through this to find blah, 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 blah. You're getting out of the momentum of the moment of being very, very creative. So try to do all of that homework before you catch the wave. Hopefully you have enough stacked up there in your session so you can catch that wave all the way till at least you have a huge chunk of it done, maybe 80% of it done. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be 100% done, because that's never been my experience. I can always get like a sort of a big rough idea out there, and sort of I can have the whole structure of the track. But then it's like, okay, now I need to add this and that. Maybe have some transitional effects. I need this or that. So there's going to be a couple of things that you will have to go to later. But now you're kind of in editing mode. You're not really in creative mode anymore. So now you're just sort of like editing things and adding a couple of things. You're basically putting icing on the cake, but the cake is baked. It's ready to go. It's already in the structure you need. It's sounding good, and it's in the style and sound that you want. So hopefully that helps solve that problem for you, man.